Have you ever brought your computer in for repair to the company Geek Squad? Well, you might want to think twice about doing that in the future, because now it has been revealed through a Freedom of Information Act request and an ongoing trial that members of Geek Squad, particularly in Kentucky, are working as informants for the FBI. After the prosecution of a California doctor revealed the FBI's ties to Best Buy Geek Squad computer repair facility in Kentucky, new documents released show that the relationship goes back years. The records also confirm that the FBI has paid Geek Squad employees as informants. The Electronic Frontier Foundation filed a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit against the FBI seeking the records about the extent to which it directs and trains Best Buy employees to conduct warrantless searches of people's devices. Now, the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution specifically bars unreasonable searches and seizures. They have to have a warrant, they have to go through the whole due process. But do they have to go through the due process when it's a private person who is searching the computer? And more specifically, a computer that has been handed over voluntarily and has signed documentation allowing them to be able to go through the computer. So that's the real question that's going to be decided very soon. But, okay, what exactly do they do? Customers with computer problems would take their devices to the Geek Squad for repair. Once Geek Squad employees had the devices, they would surreptitiously search the unallocated storage space on the devices for evidence of suspected illegal images and then report any hits to the FBI for criminal prosecution. Court records show that some Geek Squad employees received $500 to $1,000 in payments from the FBI. Now, this has already gone before court. There was a doctor in California who's been charged. Essentially, what happened was illegal images were found on his computer by Geek Squad members, and they turned that information over to the FBI. But it turns out they're also paid informants. So where is the line drawn? The court argued, or the prosecution argued, that since he did voluntarily hand over his computer and sign documentation, both written and oral consent, to them going through the computers, he has no protection in this case, and the Geek Squad members who did so do not count as state agents. But do they count as state actors according to the law? Because this is an important question. The Federal Appeals Court covering California and other western states has ruled that determining whether a party is a state or private actor comes down to two elements: whether government officials knew of and agreed to the intrusive search, and two, whether the party conducting the search intended to assist law enforcement or further their own ends. I think that when we use this definition, it's very clear that the Geek Squad employees are acting as state actors. They are receiving compensation for what they do, and they are being directed to go out and do so, and the FBI does know that they are actively doing so as they requested them to do it. Now, this is really just another measure by the growing police state in America to circumvent laws that were designed to protect the public from abuses of power or overreaching powers of the United States government. And this is something that should very much concern people, because this is someone that you're trusting to deal with a problem in your computer. And you're trusting them with your data, and frankly, for a lot of people, including myself, to have my computer is to basically have my whole life. And that's a very serious issue. And that's something that definitely has to be dealt with in future. So to claim that these people are not working as state actors is blatantly false. They very much are. They are essentially just snitches. So I think it's important that people know that this is what Best Buy is doing. It's not like they just came across something and decided to report it. They are actively searching the hard drives, searching the computers of people to find something to turn over to the FBI to essentially get a $5,000 to $1,000 bounty. And I think that is something you would want to know if you were turning over your computer to a repair shop. Are they going to snitch you out? Because where do we draw the line in this case? It's very much now given just the image that this is about illegal images. So let's say you have some copyrighted content that you didn't pay for. Maybe something fell off the back of a pirate ship and it's still on your hard drive and you couldn't get it off before something happened to your computer. In this case, what are they going to snitch you out to the FBI for copyrighted material? I think it is very much a slippery slope. Once you give the power to them to do that, they are essentially going to abuse it. And I think that's very much confirmed by the history of the United States and the violations of human rights that it has been carrying out for, well, essentially since the beginning of the country's creation, but more specifically after the events of 9/11, 2001, the justification for infringing upon people's civil liberties in the name of fighting terrorism, and that even though the war on terror seems to be mysteriously over now that Russia is more powerful than it used to be, it's still something that they are going to abuse in the future. So I think that with this, in my personal opinion, you shouldn't trust Geek Squad, period. I mean, aside from the fact they also overcharge for work, I definitely think that you should be much more secure with your data. You don't necessarily have to encrypt anything. Just get it off the main computer, the one that can potentially break down that you would take in. But then I don't condone doing anything that's illegal. So people, take care of your computers, take care of any sensitive data you have, and try to make sure it doesn't end up in the hands of snitches like Best Buy. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.